I've been sitting here reflecting on how genuinely important it is for us to be taking care of ourselves along each journey that we find ourselves on, especially for those of us who have a little bit more of an ambitious tinge to our future outlooks, our prospects. And so what has really kind of clicked for me, which may seem obvious to you, my dear viewer, whoever that might be, I think the most interesting component is, sure, we have this awareness that, hey, we need to do our best and be pushing and striving for all of these really great, incredible, cool things that we might do in our world. But the old saying goes, if we don't have our health, then what do we have? And so I feel like it's a very easy and very slippery slope to fall down into, of wanting to always do more, be more, get more. And I don't necessarily disagree with never being satisfied. I think we can, to a certain extent, be content and happy and fulfilled with the things that we've gotten, but then also in the same kind of way still be looking to pursue more and better, that kind of Kaizen approach of continuous improvement. I do believe in that. I do believe you can have both simultaneously as things in our minds that we value and that we can follow. However, a problem can come in when we sacrifice one of the most foundational legs for our ability to continuously improve, which is our health, be it physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever it may be for you. There are times where I think there is a limit to the amount that our candle can burn, and sometimes our wick runs out, and that's when we hear all of these stories about burnout being the very analogous response to our wick finally finishing. So what I'm really trying to say here is the way in which we're able to achieve our best and do the greatest extent of work that we can do is not simply to do the work itself, not simply to be pursuing towards whatever the goal might be, but alongside that there are these peripheral, and not really peripheral, but more ancillary foundational things that we need to take care of to being able to enable us to continue to do that sustainably. The sustainable side of things is the most interesting question, because then that becomes a discussion around time frame. Is this something that we're wanting to be doing to the same extent for the rest of our lives? Are we willing to extend ourselves a little bit further for a shorter amount of time? Are we wanting to do that in intervals? We need to define that for ourselves, and I feel like for me it's probably the best methodology that I can consider is having short bursts of incredible intensity to kind of make a lot of progress and then cyclically recharge. I feel like that is probably the best use of our time, and everybody has different splits on what that might mean for them. Some people might work really hard for 6 months and then take 6 months off. Some people might have to work really hard during the week and then they might take a day or two off on the weekend. It really does depend on situations and circumstances, and so I can't really sit here and say very much to a generalized group of people, because everyone's different, as we know. So I might hear you say, Matt, why are you sharing all of this really basic, boring, common sense kind of stuff that we already know at this point? Well, great question, might I add. But what I'd say is, I have found for myself that I can very easily forget this. I can very easily fall into the trap of thinking that I can do it all without needing any of the proportional rest or needing any of that proportional down to the up that I might be kind of going through in my journey and the stuff that I'm doing. So this video is more of a way of recording an important concept to say that taking care of ourselves isn't just laziness. Taking care of ourselves isn't just an opportunity to slack off, but it really is fundamental and foundational to doing anything important in the world. It's integral to our capacity to being able to enact change that is more than just a short-term endeavor. It's something that we can do for a very large and wildly audacious challenge that we wouldn't be able to even consider if we weren't doing it in at least a semi-sustainable way. So for all of you that are out there that are kind of like me, I'd like you to take this opportunity just to consider the possibility that what I'm saying may be accurate, and it might not in fact be just some guy that is trying to be extra lazy and trying to make it so that he doesn't have to put in as much time or hours. Because in reality, if you were to do that, if you were to only work, then that will actually decrease your performance, which is something that none of us want. None of us want to decrease our performance, so maybe take a second look at this. Maybe think of it as a way to hedge your bets and to optimize on the optimizations. But that's all I've got for today. Just wanted to share a quick piece of a thought I've been having recently. So take from it what you will, leave what you don't. Regardless, thanks for watching, thanks for being here, and I'll see you soon.